So many people have been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, especially small businesses. Some have had to close their doors entirely, while others are still trying to make ends meet. Back in April, the state rolled out several initiatives, including the Paycheck Protection Program, which were available to small businesses and nonprofits. Yesterday, the governor announced the launch of a state program that will now support small businesses in our state that have been impacted by COVID-19.
We have to continue to invest in our small businesses.
Officials say the Connecticut CARES Small Business Grant Program will be funded by a $50 million state grant from the state coronavirus relief fund. If the requirements are met, 10,000 businesses and nonprofits in our state that have less than 20 employees or a 2019 payroll of less than $1.5 million will be provided a one-time $5,000 grant.
Clearly, the governor understands that small business is the economic force in our communities, and providing opportunities for small business to expand and continue the great work they do is a great sign, and it shows great leadership from our governor and from the Department of Economic and Community Development.
Help to keep these small businesses, minority-owned, women-owned, that are most at risk in terms of the shortfall that has hit our economy. And I really hope that this is going to be a bridge, not a bridge to nowhere, but a bridge to the backside of this pandemic. But we still have a way to go.
Meanwhile, the Connecticut Restaurant Executive Director Scott Dolch released a statement saying he believes the Lamont administration has not been as helpful in providing relief compared to other states. But other officials and locals say they think this new grant will surely go a long way.
Particularly with COVID, shopping local is the best thing we can do for our local economy and also for the people in our communities. So it's pretty important. I think Lamont's doing a great job.
Well, I feel like there's so many businesses around that are smaller businesses, and of course with these rough times, I think it's definitely important to support all of them and show your love.
The Department of Economic and Community Development say that half of the funds for small businesses and nonprofits will go to towns and cities designated as distressed municipalities. Those who have been fortunate enough to remain open, though, agree that it's nice to see help going to non-big box chains.
I think the curbside seating over here has kind of made a difference, but if you look at other places, maybe not so great, for sit-down restaurants, but a lot of the fast service places like us, we seem to be sticking it out.
If you're interested in learning more about this grant program, you can head to fox61.com. But for now, in West Hartford, I'll enjoy this local cup of coffee outside Hartford Baking Company. I'm Margot Farrell, Fox 61 News.